Well, we are day 8 on a hunting trip down in the Vic High Country. So we've been hunting through this area for the last 8 days. I'm having a quiet one. The boys have gone out hunting. I'm enjoying a cuppa, some brekkie, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to run through a bit of a gear dump. So I was going to do a gear dump of all the gear I've brought, the pros and cons of the gear I've brought along, and I suppose any recommendations I might have if you are planning a similar trip. Just for context, there's 3 of us on this trip. We've been probably covering around 25 Ks packing around, and then an additional hunting Ks on top of that. It is early September. We were planning for, well, today's been our first frost. We were planning for cold weather. Overall it's been really warm, really mild, lack of water. So the gear I've probably brought in hindsight with the weather hasn't been the best, but you've got to plan for the unexpected. So yeah, just been an opportunity to run through all my gear, and if you have any questions or comments or any recommendations, I'd love to hear it. So yeah, what we'll do, I want to finish this up and then we'll get into it. Well, let's get into this. I'm just going to keep moving through. If you do have any questions, like I said, please reach out and I'll answer them. First, I'm going to go through what I actually hunt in and pack in with. So first I'm just going to go through what I actually wear and packing kind of style, I guess, like what's actually in my backpack, what backpack I'm using. So first of all, I am using the lower Ranger GTXs. These are my second pair of Rangers that I've had, and I personally love them. Super comfy. I've never had any feet issues with them. I don't wear any special socks, just a pair of Kathmandu Xandus. I'll probably put it up on the screen. I'm going to forget a few of these things, so as I work my way through, I'll just if I don't know the name of the exact model, I'll just make sure to put it up on the screen. But yeah, lower Ranger GTXs, amazing boot, can't fault them. So those are what I wear on my feet. Then, like I said, I'm wearing the Kathmandu socks. Now this trip I have tried something different. If you've seen my previous videos, I'm always running thermals and shorts, kind of traditional New Zealand hunting style. But for this trip, what I've been wearing is the Alton, these Alton pants. Once again, I'll put the model type on the screen. I was a little bit skeptical about trying out pants, but these have been great. I've worn them every single day, every hunt, every pack. I've even worn them at night at times, and they are going really well. They're quite a lightweight material. They're not noisy when you're pushing through the bush. The only negatives I probably have about them, I would like the pockets a little bit deeper, or maybe a zip kind of system, just to make sure everything's secure. I always get a little bit worried about something falling out of my pockets. But apart from that, for me, they've been really good. Will I be a full-time pant wearing hunter? Maybe. Well, probably not. But they have definitely been, yeah, loved them. They've been excellent, so I can't fault those. So yeah, been enjoying the Alton pants. While I'm hunting, what I'm usually running is just either a thermal, just a cheap poly thermal, or one of my Huntech shirts. So I'll just run some footage of that, showing you kind of my general hunting setup. At the moment, I'm kind of in my camp attire. I've got my backpack down, just a cheap $100 puffer. I've got my bush edge, just merino beanie. And of course, you can't go anywhere without the camo Crocs. So lightweight camo Crocs, which are nice just to throw on when you're around camp. In addition, I have been running the Alton hat for this trip. And what else for clothing? What I'll do is I'll probably throw a photo up of all the clothing I have brought. Pretty much the clothing I just mentioned is the only clothing I've been wearing, but I have brought additional merino base layer, what else, gloves, because we thought it was going to be a lot colder than what it's been. So I'll flick to another shot, show you exactly all the gear I did bring as part of this trip, kind of laid out to make it a little bit easier, with some little annotations, and that kind of covers the clothing aspect of it. Now what I'll run through is just also what else I kind of wear when I'm packing or hunting. I run the Bush Edge branded twin needle bino harness. Love this thing is great, super comfy, have it on all the time. Pretty much holds my binos. Plus I often have a spare battery for my camera, plus my phone just living in there. Just got the SIG rangefinder that just lives in this little hunter's element. set up, which is good. And then I've just got the dog and gun R&M Blades Axis knife. And once again, that always just lives there, nice and secure, not going anywhere. And that's just living on my chest pretty much all the time. Now, biggest game changer I've had for this trip. I have never really used hiking poles before. This is my first trip that I have actually purchased a pair of hiking poles, and game changer. I've always thought, don't know what I've thought, they're always thought maybe for hikers, for trampers, you don't need them. I'm big enough, strong enough, I don't need these, but mate, to be honest, these things have made life so much easier. We've been up some steep hills, heavy packs, and just what these give you in that extra, just taking that load off your legs, going up and going down, I confidently will say I will not go on a hunt again without a pair, not just a single. They definitely need the two for those kind of uphill and downhill grunts. Absolute game changer. Now these ones here are the, what do they call them, the Fit Life. These were $50 for both off Amazon. They're supposedly supposed to be carbon fiber. I don't know about that. They are super light. The only thing that has happened is I have lost I don't know what you call them, the little stoppers that come around the bottom on both pairs. But apart from that, these things have been freaking amazing. Like, yeah, won't go on, but if you haven't got a pair of hiking poles, give it a go. You'll be amazed how much easier it makes life when you are packing in those loads. So, well, you can't get anywhere backpack hunting without a pack. So I am running the Tatonka modulus system. So what it is pretty much it has their frame, and then it has a removable pack system that you can remove on and off. At the moment, I've got the 75 by 10 modulus pack they have, plus I also brought the 30 litre day bag. So what I can do is, I'll probably run some footage, or I'll actually quickly show you now, is I can just undo all this, and this whole pack actually just comes off from the frame. So the benefits of this are you can pack in, have all your gear in your pack. Once you get to camp and you actually set up for a base camp, then what you can do is actually remove this pack off here, and then you can throw in the 30 litre day bag. A lot smaller kind of, what would you say, smaller footprint or smaller size, so it's easy to get through the bush when you are stalking. Let's take this one off. So there's the 75, that comes off. And then what happens is you're left with the frame, and then I can throw the 30 litre on. So we used the other day with Blake when he shot the fallow buck. You know, we're able to use that 30 litre, load it with meat, load it with head on here, and plenty of straps, just cinch it all down and off you go. The one thing I have added for this trip in addition is just this hunter's element. I've been looking for a little kind of side compartment. This just has all my kind of snacks and bits and pieces. I also run my GoPro and that in this little side pouch, and that's been a real positive. With the bino harness, there isn't quite enough space to keep all that kind of stuff, so running this little side pouch allows you just to have everything else you need in close proximity. So I'll definitely be keeping that running for the pack. Also, the one other thing that I need to mention, which you might notice, is this here. This is a Peak Designs camera mount, and what I've used is a Sony RX10 Series 4 camera, and that just clips onto here. So nice quick release. It's pretty much sitting here all the times, and I can quickly pull it off and access the camera when required. So that's that one there. You might have noticed me sitting on this. This is the Alton insulated sit pad, I think they call it. $15. Folds up to that, and just when you're glassing, lay it out, sit on it. I think it's got an R value of 2. So it just helps give you a little bit of an insulated barrier against the ground, which can really come in handy. Hasn't been as bad on this trip, but our sandbar trip last year, which I'll flick some photos of video to, super cold, freezing. I didn't have one of these, Tobias did. I was very jealous. Well, he actually has a big Thermarest one, 3/4 size, which he can really either overlap or lie down on. But even this made a big difference on this trip, and yeah, I'll always have that thrown in. Super small, super light, easy. Okay, the tent that I've been using on this trip's been slightly different. I've been and purchased a new one. Previously on my last trip I used the MacPack Minaret 2-person, I think it was, which is around the 2.5 kgs. For this one I have bought a Big Agnes Fly Creek ultralight 1-person tent. It weighs just under a kg. I'll put the specs above. Around $430–40 plus an extra $100 for the ground sheet. And yeah, it's been good. It packs down super small and it fits everything in. The only probably thing I do, well, one thing it does struggle with, by the time I want to try and get everything in this vestibule at the front, my pack, all my gear, it does become pretty tight. So it is definitely a nice lightweight tent. It just doesn't have much room if you are looking at storing all your gear within here. It can work, but you just have to be very kind of organised. What I've been doing, or what I will do, is I'm going to use this for some of my jet ski camping trips. I might do a bit of bike packing. It's just for those trips like this. I want to go ultra light, but you do sacrifice a little bit of space within inside the tent. That is, yeah, which is fine. I'm happy with it, but if you really want to try and get all your gear in, there are a couple other options. I will flick you over to Blake and Tobias's tent. Blake's running a Big Agnes copper spur, and I'd have to check what Tobias's is, but his is a, hang on. So he's a Hilleberg. I'm just trying to work out what the model is. Yeah, I have to check with Tobias what the actual model is, but his is a bloody bulletproof 4-season kind of tent. But yeah, I've been happy with it. It cuts the wind, it's held up really well in the wind. Very lightweight fabric, so you do have to be careful of punctures. But yeah, that's the tent I've been running, and yeah, no real dramas with it. Okay, I'm in my tent, and yeah, I'm not going to try and pretty it up and show how, a beautiful, clean setup I'm running. This is the setup as it is as I woke up this morning. So there's shit everywhere. As you can see, just with that tent style, you can get your packing things in, but it does become very tight. Now what I'm going to do now is just have a quick chat to you about the bedding and kind of sleep arrangement that I'm using. So for the sleeping bag, I'm running a MacPack 700 XP down sleeping bag. I've had this for years. Still super warm. It was probably minuses last night. I was toasty in there, had no socks. I was actually really warm last night, which was great. What I'm sitting on at the moment is the Alton ultralight sleeping mat, which has an R value of R4. What I have on it, as you can see, is their fitted sheet. So the fitted sheet goes over top, and then I've also got their ultralight pillow, which just folds in here, and that kind of keeps everything all together when you are sleeping. So I love this sleeping mat. I have such a good sleep in it. I have used old Thermarest before and bits and pieces, but this is just a game changer. Super comfy, super light, and yeah, can't fault it. Love it. So definitely be carrying on. So I'll definitely be continuing to run this. So that's my sleeping mat, my pillow, my sleeping bag. I'm inside the tent. What I might do now is just try to organise this a little bit nicer so it doesn't look such of a shit show. And then I can show you a few of the other bits and pieces that I run. Okay, a crucial one to talk about now is water, hydration, and I suppose filtering of water. So what I'm running is the Black Wolf 3 litre, what do you call them, water bladder. What we experienced in this trip is it was extremely dry. We're down by a river now, but majority of the places we hunted, water was super scarce. Like we were worried that we'd have to just pretty much beeline it back to the main river. So we ended up finding some water sources around the place, and for that we have used the water filtration setup that Tobias has, which is the SOAR kind of gravity fed system. Important, well, for me personally, I've been super slack with water filtration over the years, and in places like this, or some of the water sources that we were having to rely on, a water filtration system is crucial. So pretty much what we run is a system of dirty water and clean water. So we've got our dirty water containers. So this is a 4 litre one, this is a 2 litre one. We did have another couple, but they actually perished and it started leaking. So we've lost those in the trip, and then we kind of keep our clean water containers. So we've got a couple of these clear ones, one of these ones, about 6 litres, plus everyone here is running 3 litre bladders. So what it gave us total, I think by the time we had all water plus dirty water, is about 17 litres. So 17 litres between 3 blokes in hot conditions, you quickly chew through it. So super important that you've got some way of carrying bulk water around when you are hunting some of these, I don't know, areas that you assume could have a lot of water but don't. So it's been actually, yeah, super important to have these. That's pretty much the hydration. The other one thing I want to talk about is this Kia outdoors stash kind of kit rubbish bag. I've actually really rated that. So what it is a back bag that all your rubbish goes in. Once you finish the trip, you can empty it out, give it a clean out, and it's good to go. The one thing I've liked about it is it's just been kind of one spot for rubbish. It's not a crappy plastic bag, it hasn't perished, and then I can just roll it up and attach it to the outside of my bag. Yeah, I've actually loved it. I was a little bit skeptical about it because there is a little bit of a weight negative of carrying it, but for the way it works, just being able to roll it up, attach it to the back of your pack, hiking all your rubbish out, it's amazing. We're still in the middle of nowhere at times out there, and then we're still coming across rubbish. So pack it in, pack it out, simple. Okay, that kind of covers water, rubbish. Now it's pretty much just a final rundown of the other few bits and pieces that I run in my pack. Okay, now I'm just going to run through kind of the final few bits and pieces that I run on like a week-long hunting trip. So I've kind of upgraded my first aid kit. So this is my first aid kit plus a few like survival tools, broken up into kind of medical and tools. Yeah, nice and handy, nice and compact, and kind of keeps everything together. I can be pretty, I don't know, can be very disorganised at times. So this helps kind of get me organised, keep everything in one place. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. The Kia kit, once again, it's from Kia Kit Outdoors. Kia Outdoors. And yeah, seems like a nice, easy, simple way to keep everything together. What I did bring along on this is, in addition to the tent, was the Alton ultralight 3x3 metre tarp. Looking at the weather forecast, it was forecast for a fair bit of rain and pretty average conditions. In reality, we had one evening, kind of into the night, of maybe, say, 5 mil of rain. So in the end, it actually was a good spot to get out of the sun. So we use that. What is it? It is total packed weight of 830 grams. Weight of the tarp itself, 590 grams. Seems well made. And that was my first time running that. I then also grabbed from Alton these Caldura, whatever this material is, bags. Once again, this was just trying to get me a little bit more organised. So 3 bags, 3 different things, and kind of the size, I know exactly what they are. This one here is my cooking gear plus my kind of coffee bits and pieces. This one is all my electronics, all my charging and bits and pieces, and then my small one is just my toiletries. So I like the 3 different sizes. I know straight away from sight what they are, and it just keeps them all together. And I'm not kind of got, what I have used previously is waterproof bags, dry bags. I've been using dry bags. If it was pouring down, these probably wouldn't be the best, and these would all end up just going into one dry bag by themselves. So I brought this extra dry bag for those to go in. Got this little one here. This is like my diabetes bag, so all my little treats and things that, as you can see, it's got my finger pricker, lollies, yeah, Alton needles, insulin. So that's kind of an insulated bag that I've brought with me. I'll definitely find a smaller, more streamlined one for next trip. Too big, and yeah, a bit of a waste of space, but important. What else have I got here? I've also got the Olight, what is it? The P-Run 2. This is my headlamp. I got given this one. It's okay. To be honest, don't know. I don't love it. I find it a little bit heavy on the head. Yeah, don't know. Just haven't really liked. It works fine. Don't get me wrong. It does the job. But I'll probably look at upgrading this down the track. Just a more simple setup. Like you can pull this off and use it as a torch. But yeah, that's the Olight P-Run 2. GPS, I'm predominantly using my phone for mapping. However, I have got this one, which is the Garmin 66i. This has the inReach capabilities plus the SOS. What I've been using this is pretty much just keep in contact with the missus, let her know that I'm okay. It's nice just to have that communication on an extended trip like this. Hey, I can send a message to her and then she can reply to me and we can touch base. So at the moment I'm on the $55 plan, so I think that gives me 40 messages out to the outside world, and then I can receive as many or unlimited back to the actual device. We've also been using this between Blake and Tobias. They're both running the minis. And it's just a good way to keep communications open. So like last night, Tobias had kind of had a few issues with his, in the river and bits and pieces. He was able to let us know what was going on. And we kind of, just in case we needed to go and give him some assistance. So that's that. The boys are giving me shit about my Bunnings special $7, which I called my silky saw. Tobias thought I actually had a silky saw, but all I had was this $7 cheapie, which has done a few heads in its time. I think it's just about time for an upgrade, but super handy for cutting a little bit of wood around camp, plus getting the head, if you're shooting heads, a little bit lighter. So we use this just to remove some of the excess from Blake's stag, and yeah, can make life a lot easier when you have one of these. Finally, on a couple more, so just some detergent and a bit of a scourer for cleaning up. And finally, I guess it's powering everything. So it's amazing these days when you've got all these bits of technology. I've got my camera gear, got my Garmin, I've got my phone, I've got my headlamp, all these bits and pieces we need power. So I've been running a 20,000 milliamp, a Cynet battery power bank. And to charge that, I've been using a King's solar blanket or solar panel. To be honest, I'd have to look into what the stats of what this produces. We've been lucky, we've had very sunny days, and I've just been able to keep on top of my power demand. If it was overcast or raining or whatever, I would have definitely run out of power well before this 20,000 milliamps. So with that solar panel and out in the sun for the majority of the day, I'm probably getting a 30 to, if I'm lucky, 35% increase in the power bank during the day. So a charge of this might draw 20 to 30% of your power bank. So power is probably one thing I will work on. Just like my phone, I use this for my CGM for my diabetes, so super important. Plus I've got my batteries for my camera, which I'm constantly charging. So potentially either a better solar panel, or maybe I just bring in another power bank. So for an extended day trip, I'll probably bring maybe an additional one. Okay, well that pretty much sums up the gear dump from this trip. Hopefully it's maybe given you a few pointers or ideas of gear that you might like to use or potentially take on your next trip. Always love to hear suggestions, comments or ideas of gear you think I should be using. So feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, it really helps the channel. And hit subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll catch you on the next video. Catch you later.